Stop shrinking yourself to keep the old version of you comfortable. In many times, we evolve and we become better people, but we keep holding to our old habits. Why do we do that? It is time for us to embrace and say, I have changed and it is time for me to focus on the future and forget the old fashion that I was. You have outgrown your habits, but you still carry them out of your routine. For example, you have started working out and you're controlling your diet, but once in a while you skip in some sugars in between. It is time for you to just remind yourself that I made a decision to become a better person. I made a decision to change. Trust me, I'm also speaking to myself when I talk about this because I struggle with it. So one thing that you need to do to yourself is remind yourself that these habits, I have outgrown it. I'm no longer this person. I promised myself that I'm going to change, and no, I'm not going back to this habit. Something else that people do is you keep forcing yourself in places that now feel too small. For example, you might have outgrown a friendship because maybe of hurt of whatever happened, because we understand there are issues with friendships, but you're still trying to take yourself back just to please people. You're trying to make them just feel comfortable or something, but you need to remind yourself that if this person wronged me, it is not right for me to go back to a space that is hurting me. Some people also apologize for their dreams. Like, you have found this dream, you are building this career, you are building this business, but you're still looking like you're playing small so that people don't know that you are now a business person. When you decide to go into business, go into it fully. When you decide to go into farming, go into farming fully. When you decide to study, study fully. When you decide to do anything, go fully. Don't go halfway trying to test the waters. When you decide to go to a certain path, go fully and you will see the results. Other people will also play small, not because they can't do more, but because more would require a new identity. Let me say that again. Some people will play safe or small, not because they can't do more, but because more would require a new identity. That means you are not ready to become that person. Because if things need to change, if you need to become a really different person for you to embrace this journey, that means you have to change. And you have to make sure that you remind yourself that I promised myself that this year I'm going to make millions of money. I'm not looking back. You promised yourself that you're going to change this habit, and you're getting some temptations to go back to it. Remind yourself that you now have a new identity. You are now a new person. You are now a new creature. You're not going back to the old habits. You're not going back to the old friendships that hurt you. You're not going back to the old you that was pleasing people. You decide and you realize that you now have a new identity. You are now a new person and you're going for your goals. You're going for that person that you promised yourself that you're going to become one day. Some people would also say that their body keeps the score. The point is, their body is used to a certain routine, but now they have a different routine. That's why they are struggling to balance. They're struggling to fit in the new person. Your body is trying to take you back. Can I tell you one thing? Do you know it's us to control our minds, not our minds controlling us? We give it power to control us, but it should be the contrary. We should not give our minds the powers to control us. Instead, we should control them. So when you wake up tomorrow, when your mind tells you you're not enough, just tell your mind, you know what, sweetheart, I am enough. I can do this. And you'll see how things will change. It's our minds. You see, our minds, they are such a big tool and a big determinant of how far we go in life. So talk to your mind. Other people will say that they want to stay busy instead of being brave. They just want to keep pleasing people instead of moving out of the way and taking the action that they have decided. So these points remind us one thing, that sometimes we desire to be this person. We have already started the path. We have already started seeing the results, but we still admire the old person that we were. It's not easy to get out of it, but you need to remind yourself. You need to tell your mind that you made a decision, that you're becoming a different person. You need to talk to your mind and say, okay, we made a decision that we're going to become better, and it's time for us to do that. So one thing that I need to ask you today is, if you promised yourself to do something, go for it. Go all in. If you promised yourself to make money, to open businesses, to work out whatever it is, go all in. Don't look back. Don't look at the person that you are. That person is gone, trust me. And you know what? Sometimes your friends may not understand. Your environment may not understand. Your colleagues may not understand because they're used to the old version of you. But at this time, at this point, you understand where you are as a person. You need to focus. Don't please people. Don't shrink yourself just to please people. If you have decided to go all in your goals, please do that. Good. So other than that, I want to wish you all the best and lots of love.